What's going on, everybody? It's been quite a while. I know technically my last video I only uploaded like a few days ago, but it literally has been a while since I made a video. Now, you guys might be wondering, Law, why did you just walk up to a black Focus ST and sit inside the car? Well, guys, I now own a Ford Focus ST. You're like, man, does that mean you have 4 cars? Like, Law, you're so rich, you have 4 cars. No. A little bit of bad news. Unfortunately, as some of you know, I had to move. And sometimes when you move, your rent goes up. And rent went up, which means I couldn't afford some of the cars that I had, namely the S2000. And unfortunately, the Fiesta was not enjoying that car at all. It didn't feel right. I didn't like the driving position. The shifter position was terrible. Like the car itself was fun, but there were a lot of little things that made me just not enjoy the drive. A lot of body roll. I don't know. There was just something about it that I couldn't really get into. Because it was a lease, I couldn't trade it in. Okay, well, I'll get into that a little bit. So basically, long story short, I traded in both my Honda S2000 and the Ford Fiesta ST into Ford, and I put myself into a Ford Focus ST. So I went from 3 cars down to 2. Why didn't I just try to sell both those cars? Well, I still needed a car for practical reasons. Some of you know I'm in a band, and the BRZ just cannot hold band equipment. It's impossible, right? There's just not enough room in the BRZ to put like, a 410 cab. There's no room. So I needed something more practical. The Focus ST is also faster. It's bigger than the Fiesta, it's faster than the Fiesta, and a little bit more luxurious, so that's why I decided to go with it. Also, a lot of the issues that I had with the Fiesta, they're not in the Focus. It has a great driving position. I don't have that stupid armrest issue. I don't know if I ever told you guys, but in the past, the Fiesta, the armrest, for whatever reason, I don't know who designed this, but some guy at Ford had the brilliant idea of taking the armrest from, like, literally almost every single car in the world has this. It's in like a great position where you can put your arm down and you can like reach the shifter knob, and it's like you can rest your arm while you shift. But for whatever reason, theirs literally is raised like 1.5 inches or like 1 inch, and it's like you're like this, and like that's so uncomfortable. Like, why do I want to? I'm not going to rest my arm on something that's raised and that's putting pressure like on my arm when I try to, like, no, that's just terrible. That's like the worst thing. So that was easily my biggest complaint about the Fiesta. Now, about why I didn't go with like something else like a WRX. I really wanted a WRX. I actually had a great deal going for me with Subaru. Same guy who sold me the BRZ. He actually managed to like finagle some really crazy deal, and everything was going great, and we were about to do the paperwork, and I was about to drive away in a 2018 Subaru WRX base model, and I was super excited. And then they're like, hey, you have a Fiesta lease through Ford Credit. They will not allow you to trade your lease in to anyone except the dealer that you originally bought it from. Yeah. I was like, well, you know what? Screw you, Ford. I still need to do this. So I talked with a few of my guys over at Ford, who I bought the Fiesta from. Pro tip, guys, if you're buying a car, try to build some rapport with your salespeople, because to be perfectly honest, like, if you're friends with them, if you build that rapport, like, just in general, if you're nice to someone that, to be honest, probably gets looked at as if they're like a terrible person every day, and to be honest, like most salespeople are, but I mean, that's because they're all snakes. But if you just take that little bit of extra effort and like just try to befriend them, like, they will they will help you. They will do things to help get you the best deal possible. And so I talked with them, and they're like, yeah, what's your budget? Like, what can you do? At the end of the day, I'm paying a little bit more than I wanted, but I'm still saving money. I'm still paying less than what I was with the Honda S2000 and Fiesta combined, insurance included. So I am saving a good amount of money there. So that was really important to me. Luckily, they had the spec that I wanted. I got the Focus ST. It's just the base model, the ST1. But to be perfectly honest, like, you really don't need any more of the features. Sure, the Recaros are nice that you can get. I personally actually really like the cloth seats. Leather to me gets really sticky. And this is going to be more of a daily driver, so I'm going to be driving this a lot more. The BRZ is going to start becoming a little bit more of like a weekend warrior. Going to try to keep the miles a little bit low on it, because that's kind of my baby. So this car, I bought this one. I did not lease it. And yes, I could have lowered my monthly payment significantly if I leased it, but I'm going to give you guys a piece of advice. If you're choosing between a lease or a finance, and the financing and the lease monthly payments are the same, just finance it. Just finance it. You're not losing any more money, and the best part of it is you can sell the car and get out of it so much quicker than a lease. Getting out of a lease is probably the most pain in the butt process I've ever gone through in my life. Like, trying to trade the lease to someone, unless they're like a family member or like a close friend willing to go through that process with you, it's a horrible process. It's like a 6-week process, and nobody in their right mind would ever want to go through that process with a stranger. I had a lot of offers of people who were like, oh yeah, I'll totally take over the lease. And I was like, great, awesome. And then like, I would talk to Ford Credit and be like, hey, what's the process? Like, how do we do this? And they're like, oh yeah, you have to like do this paperwork and send it to him, and he has to send it back to you, and then do all this. And it was like, and the guy on the phone literally was just like, yeah, this is a 4 to 6 week process. And I'm like, nobody's gonna want to do that. And I know they do this for a reason, just to keep you in that lease. Like, it's terrible. And so I just couldn't get out of it. And so this was the only option I had. And so, unless there's like a significant difference, like, so Subaru has great lease programs, because when I went to Subaru, my original plan on the WRX is I wasn't going to buy it. I was actually going to lease it. And the reason I was going to lease the WRX specifically is because, one, I knew I was going to keep that car. If it came down to it, and like, worst case scenario, I had to sell one car, and if it was the WRX or the BRZ, I would sell the BRZ and I'll keep the WRX. I mean, it's just more practical, it's faster. Like, there's a lot of things that are great about the WRX that in a last worst case scenario, I'd rather keep the WRX because it's more practical. And plus their lease pricing was so much lower than financing. And so at that point, like, it would make sense to lease, because like, you're paying significantly less. The problem is, for whatever reason with Ford, like, every single time I've talked to them between like the lease and the finance, it's been like the same price. It doesn't matter. It almost didn't matter how much money I threw down. And it was just like, wait, like, why? Like, why am I paying the same amount for a lease than I am with, shouldn't the lease be always lower? Like, that's the benefit of a lease, is a lower monthly payment, but you return the car afterwards. So I don't know how they did it. I don't know if maybe like they were trying to screw me over or something, but they ended up screwing me over on the Fiesta. Like, if I just bought instead of leased, I wouldn't even be in this predicament right now. I'd probably be driving a WRX. But you know what? The Focus is a secondary choice for me. The Focus was always a secondary choice. Like, it's a fantastic car. Go read some reviews on it. I'm not really going to review the car just yet, just because I haven't really had a good chance to drive it. So far, it's been great. 250 horsepower, turbocharged 4-cylinder, 2-liter EcoBoost engine. The nice thing is 270 pounds of torque. So this is a really torquey car, which is a lot of fun. Oh, I want to show you guys this. This is really cool. Yeah. Yeah, you see that? It said ST there. Like, that's pretty cool. I like it. I'm happy with my choice. I'll show you guys the car a little bit later. Right now, I'm going to set it up. I actually am going to just drive it around a little bit more, solidify my choice. And yeah, like that's the news. Focus ST. Do I have plans for this car? I do, actually. There's actually a very specific reason I got in black. I really want to do some specific mods to it. Yeah, so specific mods. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be doing that. And this car's nice and big. You know, it doesn't sound bad. I don't like the little sound symposer that's in it. I think that's really stupid. I can really tell that there's like fake engine noise being pumped into the cabin, and so I'm definitely going to get rid of that. New exhaust. Thinking about the MBRP, not very expensive, supposedly the lowest tone for a Focus, and so I did like that. Yeah, maybe a tune by Stratified, you know, Canon air filter, you know, the usual work. I'm not gonna go too crazy with this. Might do lowering strings, but to be honest, like, the car looks pretty good as is. It's running 18 by 7s. Yeah, 18 by 7s. I think, but they look pretty good. There's not as much wheel gap or lack of wheel poke than the BRZ stock, so I think the wheels look good. I might just like plastic dip them or something. But yeah, guys, just wanted to show you the new car. I really do like it, but you know, I'll give you guys an update in a little bit. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for all the new subscribers. Actually, you know what? We're really close to 1,000 subscribers. I know it's been a bit slow. I think if I had actually kind of kept up with this channel a little bit more, especially recently, we'd probably already be there by now. But I mean, that's fine. Like, it's totally cool. I think it's really cool that we're actually going to get there. I do have a surprise for everyone once we do hit 1,000 subscribers. So you know, stay in touch. Keep watching my videos if you enjoy them. Hit that like button below, of course, and hit that subscribe button if you guys haven't been here before. Alright, guys, catch you on the next one.